After ignoring my grandma's warning and sticking my fingers right into the wringer on the washer, you'd think I'd have been more attentive to the voices of experience in my life. Unfortunately, some kids are just slow learners and they have to learn the hard way. I had wonderful, hard-working parents who lovingly taught me right from wrong. They reminded me often, if I make wise choices, life will go better for me. But if I make unwise choices, it's going to come with consequences and pain. When I was 8 years old, my friend Ricky and I decided it'd be really cool to smoke a cigarette. Now, my mom had warned me about smoking. She told me the consequences. It'll stunt your growth and you'll probably get lung cancer. But when you're 8 years old, you figure your mom's probably just trying to scare you and she doesn't want you to have any fun. The bad thing about ignoring the rules is when you break one rule, you often find yourself breaking more. We had decided to break the rule and try smoking. But because we had no driver's license or no money, we had to steal cigarettes from my dad. Now, I didn't want to steal. What was an 8-year-old going to do when he wanted to try smoking? So I slipped a couple of cigarettes from my dad's pack while he was taking a shower and got some wooden matches out of the kitchen drawer. Now all that we needed was a place to do the deed. And as fate would have it, not far from my house was a field with an old abandoned school bus in it. The perfect hideout. We slipped onto the bus and walked to the back seat. We laid our cigarettes and matches on the back seat, lit one up and took a puff. We leaned back to enjoy our rendezvous with tobacco, and I noticed a trail of smoke rising off the seat in front of me. In a flash, the seat burst into flames. We dashed to the front of the bus to get out, just as a man came running up with a bucket of water. He yelled, "You kids get out of there!" We knew we were in big trouble, so we ran all the way home and hid. We could hear the screech of the siren as the fire truck came racing down our street. As I hid in fear, I could hear my mama saying, "Be sure your sins will find you out." I figured I was dead meat if my parents found out that I was the arson. As the fire trucks pulled away, I watched the neighbor secretly as he walked back to his house. To my great chagrin, he lived 2 doors down. I just knew he'd figure out where I lived and turn me into my unsuspecting parents. I lived with the fear of being found out every single day. I never played in my own front yard. I even turned my head every time I came out the front door in case he was looking my way. Every day, I would walk 3 blocks out of my way to get to school and then come back home the same way to keep from walking in front of his house. I was sure that he was studying each kid who passed his house, searching for the arson. One day, I was playing on the side of my house where he couldn't see me from his house. When out of the corner of my eye, I saw him. I dove behind a bush. Crouching there, I watched what looked like the shadow of a giant slowly crossing my yard. Panic consumed me and I ran and dove under my bed. I was so afraid to come out from under it that I finally fell asleep there. Not until my family and I moved to the West Coast did I stop fearing the day that my neighbor would spot me and tell my parents of my evil deeds. Starting fresh, I wanted to never forget my grandma's words. If you do that,
it's going to hurt real bad.
Her words served as a deterrent to my own stubborn way. I think that's why I always used to say to my own kids, wise people listen to wise people, but a fool thinks he's always right. Psst, please don't ever tell the kids about this video. I don't want them to think that I might have been a fool. Love boldly, live fearlessly.